Hello and welcome to another Paints with me. My name is Orla Stevens and I'm an artist sharing videos of my studio sessions, my painting process and the inspiration that I find from nature and my art adventures outdoors. I am so excited to share with you my process today, going from small sketches to this large-scale canvas, where I'll be pushing my use of scale and composition to capture an abstract interpretation of a wild seascape. Whilst I paint, I'm going to share some thoughts I have around painting, scaling up sketches, developing composition, and perhaps the most difficult part of all, pushing past those barriers we find when we get too precious about the work in progress. This is a longer video today, so grab a cuppa and get comfy. And if you're watching this whilst working or thinking about a project you'd like to paint, or a place you'd like to adventure to, I'd love to hear about it in the comments down below. As always, I get warmed up with some writing to note down what I'd like to find in the final painting. These few words give me some direction, which inform my colour, composition and mark-making decisions. Some key words I have to guide this painting are elemental, wild, immersion and drama. So I've just been having a look through all of the research sketches that I did in my previous studio session to warm up with, and I always love the kind of rawness and the looseness of these initial sketches. There's something about that level of freedom that it's really difficult to translate from that research sketch into an actual painting. And I wanted to show you some of the elements that I really like from my research sketches. So I really love this sketch here that I've done. And I think what I like about it is that I'm looking to capture this kind of elemental feeling, these different contrasts between the light and the rock and the water. Yeah, these different kind of qualities and tones, that kind of hardness, the softness, the translucency, the opaqueness, all of these different contrasts in the actual scene and the memory that I'm looking to capture. So here, I really like what this kind of which way is up feeling, which I always get when I'm standing on a cliff edge and the wind is billowing really fast and there's rain lashing at you from one side and sun coming at you from another. And this really big, not big, but all-encompassing experience. And that's what I want to try and capture in this painting. So here, there's kind of light, but is it coming from down? Is it coming from up? Which way are we looking? I like that kind of feeling and the feeling of travelling throughout the sketch as well. There's a notion of a cliff, but nothing is too particular. So I'm hoping that the painting can kind of let you guess what is what. I really love this sketch, this illusion of a bird. Again, this kind of composition, which is not sure which way is up, the kind of turning sensation. So I want to play with that idea from this sketch too. And following on to the actual painting sketches that I developed, it's the same things I'm drawn to. This use of line work, the shape of the bird which is coming out, different layers of pattern and texture that I'm building through medium. I love this corner here, playing with shape and pattern to drive the composition. But I'm also really drawn to this and the kind of feeling of pulling downwards or pushing upwards. In this one, I'm really enjoying the feeling of drama and movement in the sky. I think for the large canvas, I don't want to capture something quite as literal as this horizon line in the piece, but instead play with this more all-encompassing directional composition. When it comes to composition planning, I like to reference multiple sketches I have in front of me. I'll take sections from one drawing and merge it with another, using charcoal on canvas to loosely plan what might go where. Charcoal is so good for this initial plan because it can be easily painted over or rubbed out if you don't like what you've drawn. I like to draw this initial sketch quickly so I don't overthink it. And working on the floor is really helpful for me to scale up images. I find it helps me to move around and to draw with larger, more dynamic movements, which all help to keep that looseness at a larger scale. This sketch on canvas is directing where the lights and the darks of my paintings might be placed, either by marking in some texture or using heavier line work to direct where my darker colours will be layered up. You'll have spotted that I'm drawing onto a very bright base. I prepared this painting up layers of pinks, yellows and whites in acrylic on top of this deep edge cotton canvas. When I'm happy with my initial sketch, I begin to pull layers of colour in, which work as base layers. It's worth saying that I don't always plan my work out like this, but I find it helpful when I have a specific goal in mind to follow through, or if I'm working from specific reference images or sketches like I am today. It's often in these layers that I feel most free. They don't matter much and serve mostly to build texture and depth. And ironically, I always love these layers of paintings, but I do struggle to call them finished because I feel like they haven't been worked enough. I'm not sure if that is true or not, but for whatever reason, I'm driven to continue to work into them, to find the depth that I love from layered paintings. I also find this need for more working in to be truer the larger that I paint. In these early stages, I really love exploring how colours interact and react, especially when being layered up, scraped back, layered up again, playing with opacity and transparency. I also love observing the moments of detail as I work into larger paintings, but I always have to be mindful that I'm taking steps back whilst I paint, so that I don't find myself creating several small paintings within one large canvas. It needs to work as one whole composition, so standing back to review how the piece develops as a whole is really important. If you're enjoying watching this video, consider giving it a like, a subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified when I next upload a video. It's a free way to help support me and my channel and connect with more like-minded people. I was really keen to bring pattern into this piece, inspired by my sketches, pulling some dots, grids and lines from my research forwards. To scale up these marks, I often turn to simply using larger brushes, cloths or tools. For this, I love using household painting or wallpaper pasting brushes, which are often much larger with great textured bristles, which are perfect for this job. I'm yet to try painting with a mop or a broom, but it's definitely on my to-do list for painting large scale, and maybe we'll see some of that in 2024. I've also been really interested in pushing my use of space in my paintings. There's something really brave to me about being able to leave areas of space in a painting, and I'm trying to resist my urge to fill every single centimetre with detail, or at least play with areas of quieter, more subtle texture to make some breathing room. Here is the result of my painting from the first session working on this canvas. At this point, I felt it was really going somewhere good. And let me tell you, that is when things get dangerous. Sometimes liking the stages of a painting too much can really hold me back because I become attached, and in turn, I really fear messing up my progress. I've been looking for ways to navigate that feeling, and so far my approach is to take a deep breath and paint over large sections of the thing. To close my eyes and jump in, pretending it's the beginning once more, to get back to that loose, experimental feeling. The next day, after some space from the work, I decided to do just that, to treat it like the beginning again. I went back to some line work to warm up, this time with oil pastels instead of charcoal. When I'm at that middle stage of a painting, I like to white out or pull layers of more transparent colour over sections to build up more depth, simplify an area, or make more space in the work. This balance and contrast between opaque thick paint and transparent watery layers was a really big focus in this second painting session. I think it really helped to make this piece more dynamic and bring in the depth I was looking for in the work. I've been trying to capture this notion of journeying, of being drawn in, and being blown around by the elements, and this really helped to move the piece closer to those sensations. I started this project in my previous video, documenting the inspiration, sketch and small-scale paintings I made in preparation to this canvas. If you'd like to learn more about those research stages, exploring sketches, painting plans, and some simple colour theory, you can check out that video, which I'll link above and down below. So here we have the final work. It's a blend of memories, sketches and emotions, and an ode to the blissful, wild abandon and freedom that travel, exploration and time in the elements brings. In many ways, this painting is a culmination of everything I've experimented and learnt across 2023, so it seems fitting to be the last piece to be added to my website for sale this year. I've been embracing colour and pattern more than ever, and I'm really happy with how far my work has come over the last 12 months of focused reflection and development. As 2023 comes to a close, I'll be sharing some of my favourite projects and collaborations of the year, as well as key takeaways and creative learning points. I love to take some time to reflect, plan and dream big for the year ahead, so stay tuned for that, sharing later in December. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you outside.